Hello traders, in today's video we'll be looking at entries. Okay, what are the right way to enter a market? Because this is what most people struggle with. You will be able to highlight your point of interest successfully, but the problem is how to enter. You might enter and then your stop get taken before price eventually moves. What are the best way to enter? Now, entry is simply a strategy as well that enables a trader to be involved in the market. Now, there are two types of entry. We have the risky entry. We have the risk entry, and we have the confirmation entry. Okay, your risk entry, your confirmation entry, both are great. You can decide to take the entry on this higher time frame daily chart by simply setting your stop in here, your limit order, stop loss below. That is one. But in this case, since you are trading on the higher time frame, your risk to reward will be smaller. But the most important thing is having a high win rate. Okay, there's nothing wrong with 3-hour trade. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. Do not allow gurus to fool you that each time they take a trade, they aim for 10 hours and the rest. And that can put pressure on you, okay? And that's why I don't show this kind of stuff much on my channel, because I realize that people are different, strategies are different, and you're trying to copy a trader you see on YouTube might be preparing yourself for doom. So now, a risky entry, the advantage of a risky entry is that you will not be missing trade. Okay, you'll be in the trade. But the disadvantage is that price can easily take you out, because this was a false POI. The POI was not going to hold. Now, the other kind of entry is the confirmation entry. In this case, you are going to wait for confirmation. And how do you wait for confirmation? You wait for confirmation when you see a shift in order flow. Okay, price approaching that zone was bearish, then all of a sudden you want to see a bullish change in order flow. Yeah, so the moment you see a bullish change in order flow, you then know that okay, this price is willing to go higher. So you then wait for price to return to that zone, then you take the trade. Now, this zone, this confirmation, it all depends on the kind of trader. You can decide to get the confirmation on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, or on the 15 minute. Those are my entry time frame: 5, 15, and 1 minute. Okay. Now, if you go to the 1 minute, the cons of 1 minute is that you keep seeing this pattern play, but each time price will take your stop. Okay, you are prone to see this plays out in the 1 minute, price doing this and then continue going lower. But I see that the 5 minutes most times, whenever I see a change in order flow in the 5 minutes, it will most likely hold for me. Okay, and number one thing again, for you to know that your strategy is working, you have to be at the right side of the market. Okay, you should know that okay, this market is going bullish. The moment you get the directional bias wrong, then all of these do not make sense. So now, let's look at this trade here. Price created what? A shift in order flow here. So it makes sense to buy from here. And I did a video on my channel on the weekly analysis that explained this move. Okay, now how can you enter this trade here? The first thing you can do here is simply using the risk entry. Enter with a limit order here, your stop loss below this low, because this low is your point of invalidation. This kind of entry is what is a risky entry. Now, the other kind of entry is to wait for what? Confirmation. Now, let's look at the 15 minutes. Let's look at the 15 minutes. I got a message from Chris, okay, that says I should show how you enter on 5 or 15 minutes, because the 1 minute keep taking him out. Okay, so now this is the 15-minute here. In this case, you are going to wait for price to take out this high. This was the last high that led to manipulation. Okay, and as you can see, price went above the high. So in that case, you will be marking out your point of interest in here. Okay, in this case here, it all depends on the kind of trader. As for me, I prefer marking this because this is the last POI before the imbalance was filled. Okay, so in this case, you put your pending order on the week here, stop loss below, and that will have given you a much better risk to reward. Okay, a much better risk to reward with 4. Okay, you can see the entry there. So when price comes back into this, okay, because you've seen the confirmation that there was a shift in order flow here, the confirmation is here for you, so that makes sense for you to take the trade from here, and then you aim higher. So that is one. Another example is to look at, so let's look at this in the weekly time frame. This particular pair, this was another good example. We have a low, sweep liquidity, and a break of structure in here. You have a break of structure here. Okay, price broke structure, and then this was the zone. Okay, now if you go to your daily, is either you enter here as on a risk entry basis, stop loss below, and this was still a good trade because for those in my VIP, I send out this as their target, so I was targeting here, so it makes sense for it to be here, risk entry, go long here, target up here. Okay, in this case you have a 4-hour trade, 3.7-hour trade. It makes sense. Okay, the main thing is for you to have a good win rate and you are above the waters. Now you can start to go to the 15-minute for your confirmation. So as you can see here, the last low was this here. Okay, so the moment price crosses above this, now you see the trick in confirmation here. If you waited for price to get here or to get to this zone, you will miss this trade. Okay, but once you understand the market behavior, you can simply enter the trade at the touch of this point here. The moment price sweep, this was the best entry. Any other thing, you are out. Okay, but in this case, I took the trade in the lower time frame from 5 minutes. Okay, since I'm stuck with the 15-minute here, I will use the 15-minute analysis here. Now, to enter this trade, you should know that this is the final point here. This, as price crosses above here, the moment this candle comes back on this, you can start entering here. There's nothing wrong. You don't have to wait. The market does not have to get to this point, nor the market needs to get to this point. Okay, if you enter here and the market still goes down and tap into this, fair enough. Your point of invalidation is this low. Always know your point of invalidation. Okay, the moment you know your point of invalidation, you don't have any issue. Now the main thing is you experience a kind of drawdown in here. If price was to go lower, it's a good thing. It's part of trading. Okay, just hold your trade. Since you know the amount of money you are risking, let it be. If it takes you out, fine. Okay, and you can see from this point there was no room whatsoever for price to come down. It was a parabolic move to the upside. So this is how you look at your entry. So whenever I say look for confirmation, all you need to do is to look for what a shift in order flow in the lower time frame, and then you mark out areas where you'll be entering on that lower time frame. to take your price to the higher side. Don't go to the 1 minute too much, because the 1 minute, if you are practicing this for the first time, you will be getting stopped out on the 1 minute most of the time. But the 5 minutes is okay. Focus on the 5 or the 15 minutes as your entry, and then you won't have any issue. If you want to learn more on supply and demand and how to draw out your zones, you can check this video here.